My name is Sarah. My son, he goes to Orchard Hill. He's in 4th grade.
My name is Teresa Barnett. I am a 2nd grade teacher. This is about my 8th year at Orchard Hill. This particular year, I had Manny in my class.
They had sent out an email saying that the 2nd graders had prepared poems to read. I went out to the school and was sitting in the little waiting area with all the other parents for the kids, and I noticed I could see Manny's class, I could see Teresa, his teacher at the time, but I didn't see Manny anywhere.
Well, I'm hustling all my kids down there, and I see Sarah walk in. I was just like brain overload, like, what do I do at this point? Well, thinking parents don't get an opportunity to come in that much, I'll just hustle down and get Manny.
When it was time for the show to end, they got up and said, we're gonna finish the show with Manny. And he got up there, and it was obvious he read a poem that he didn't write. He was very confused standing up in front of everybody because he wasn't prepared. But he did really well. And he went on, and everyone clapped, and that was the end of the show. And I was upset because I knew what had happened. Because he's in special education classes, and I know that they're not always together. They're separated times during the day. And I knew that for whatever reason, there had been miscommunication.
And that whole time, I thought, this is not okay. Manny was being completely excluded from something that his peers were doing. It's just not okay that he's not participating with us.
My name is Andrea Christopher. I'm the elementary principal at Orchard Hill. What I remember about that day was Teresa coming to my office, distraught, upset about what she had done, and wanted to process through how she could make it better. It was not who she wanted to be as an educator. She could see on Sarah's face how Sarah felt about the moment, and it was just something that kind of had slipped her mind. And so I just remember processing through how she could go about restoring the relationship with Sarah and going forward for Manny.
It definitely opened up an easier conversation with me, the principal, his teachers at the time. It made it easier for us to communicate our concerns back and forth. I feel like having that happen, we were more comfortable. I was more comfortable speaking up. And then also Teresa has, over the years, we've kept in contact. And she has sent me several emails, letting me know that she still thinks about, the mistake. And every time she sees Manny in the hallway, she's reminded. And that, it's unfortunate, but it's a learning moment. And it's touching to me, and it's important to me that she took it as seriously as she did.
First of all, I think because my attitude has shifted so much, the attitude of the students that I have has shifted as well. Really trying to make all students feel like that we all have certain types of needs, and the classroom is for all of us, and that we're there to support each other.
She is a culture changer at Orchard Hill. I'm confident that she's done that her whole history in education. But she does so many things. She's always coming to me with I have a new idea about how we can do things, or she's just going behind the scenes.
I think the 7 habits are something that a lot of people do, but really being able to name them purposefully is important.
Being proactive, because she's a transition person. When you're around her for a little bit, you're changed. You just feel better about human beings.
One of the things that we say to our kids with Be Proactive is focus on what you can change, and if you can't change it, change your attitude, kind of a thing. The thing I learned around that is just that sometimes we can change more than we think we can. We have more control over certain things in our lives than sometimes we're willing to admit. So I think that was really a big thing for me. Seek first to understand and then be understood, because seeing things through Sarah's eyes and what that must have felt like as a parent was really touching for me. I think I take for granted that I see these kids so much, and I don't think about every single day. I don't think about this is someone's most prized possession that they're sending to me. And that was a very obvious that day I talked to Sarah after the whole incident. You could just tell how much she adored Manny and how important it was to her that he had the same experiences as the other kid. So just understanding someone else's perspective, I think, is really important.
How it moved her, how it changed her, is how every mistake that in life that anyone makes should change a person. And Teresa's a very special lady. She's a wonderful teacher, and And, she reacted the exact way any person should.
I would give the advice to fellow teachers. When dealing with parents, it's the best thing to do is just to be honest and to make sure that they understand that you are on the same page as them. We all want what's best for your child, and sometimes I'm gonna make mistakes, just like sometimes you're gonna make mistakes. But if we work together, we'll come up with the best solutions and the best results, the best product for your child. And then two, it's super important to collaborate with the people you work with, to know what's going on with other teachers, especially when it concerns your students. When I look back at that whole episode, I think probably Manny doesn't even really know how much we all learned from it. But one of the things that makes me feel the worst about it, or the most reflective about it, is that not only did Manny lose out on an opportunity to express himself to his classmates, especially through something like poetry, but his classmates really lost out too on hearing Manny's voice in our classroom. Because he was gone for so much of the morning, they knew Manny, but they didn't know who Manny really was. And that is a lost opportunity for them to know him and grow friendships with him. And I think that's the part that makes me feel badly, because Manny's a really cool kid and we could have all used more Manny in the morning time.